Welcome to Soul Manifestation. I'm so excited to have you here with me, and I'm so excited that this course is finally live. I feel as though this is the course that I have been birthing my entire life. I felt that when I made my course, the Holistic Wellbeing Workshop, because it tied together all of the wellness that I had learned, really. But this even tops that, because this is truly, truly the most transformative work that I've done my entire life. And it is the work that I just want everyone to do, because I truly, truly believe that when you spend the time and your energy and your focus and your intention is working on yourself so that you can show up the best, so that you can get clear on what you really want to do and who you want to be in this life and the life you want to lead. Because if I had been told in my young teen years or even in my college years, hey, you can literally do anything you want. It won't be easy at first. It's going to take some consistency. It's going to take some dedication. It's going to take some work. But soon, it's going to be transformative, and it will get you through everything. Truly, truly everything. I believe that this course ties together the best of manifestation and personal development, as well as subconscious reprogramming. Because the thing is, and I was guilty of this too, right? We often want to change. We want to stop working the 9 to 5, or we want to make a completely different career change, or whatever it may be, right? We really want this change to occur. And so we start learning, which is amazing, which is great. If you know me, you know I'm always learning. I've always got like 5 things I'm learning about. But here's the thing. When you start learning and you almost get stuck, right? Especially if you're trying to transform, if you're trying to manifest a completely different life, we get stuck in that transition often where you want to make that leap. You're ready to, but you're not fully ready to. You know what I mean? You're at that point where you keep taking course after course after course, or you're learning, you're on YouTube, you're listening to the podcast, you're getting all of the information about all of the things: mindset, personal development, spirituality, manifestation. But when it comes to your everyday life, are you really able to apply them? And when you're applying them, what are the results that you're getting? Are the results consistent? Are they reliable? Are they the results that you want to be getting? And it's totally fine. It's absolutely okay. I want to make sure that I say this out loud and clear. It's okay if you're not manifesting consistently. It's okay if you're not exactly where you want to be or exactly who you want to be yet. It's okay. That's what this course is here to help you do. But also, sometimes there's just a lot of deprogramming, the term that they'll use in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is what I'm trained in. But what I'm talking about is the fact that your brain is ultimately a supercomputer. Everything that you believe to be true in your life is all stored in your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind is really the one that's ruling the reality. And we don't often know about this because we don't hear about it. It took me a while to learn, though, that this was programming, and that not only was I programmed, but I could decide to reprogram myself. And learning about the subconscious mind is when you start to understand that. Programming is something that we are going to touch on a lot in this course, because not only does it help with manifestation and is it percent of the work, it's also the same with personal development. And I truly believe those two married together on top of your success is really what's going to create the magic that you need to be a badass business owner, to be independent, to be a manifestation master, to really truly be able to create the life that you want to live. So every single day, you are going to be doing these guided meditations and hypnoses. And you might be like, oh my goodness, when you look at the course schedule, like Alexa was really not messing around. And I want you to know, Alexa really was not messing around. But it's really because of this subconscious programming. It takes 21 days. I know you've heard this, but I don't know if you know that it's actually true. It takes 21 days to reprogram your mind. That's why when people say to break a habit, to form a habit, 21 days, it's because it's all in your mind. Your habits, your beliefs, it's all stored here in the subconscious mind. In order to change and transform your life, we really have to transform your mindset, which is going to transform your beliefs so that you can manifest. But we also need to transform your identity. It's really going to come down to who you identify with is the accumulation of all of your beliefs. And whoever you believe you can be is what you're going to be able to manifest and bring into your reality. And who you believe you can be is also going to shape the actions that you take daily. So if you don't believe that you can be a successful, strong, independent woman, you're not going to see that come to fruition. So the reason why every single day in this course, there is a guided meditation and a hypnosis that you're listening to, it's really because it takes that 21 days to reprogram your mind. When you do something every single day, this is how you can effectively reprogram your subconscious brain. And it's really through the actions we're taking, right? And the things we're doing and how we're being, ultimately how we're feeling and showing up day to day. Really hard to show up and change any of those things if you're not doing the foundational work and really looking at where your beliefs came from and where your identity came from and all of these different things, because this is the work that most people don't ever do. And that's why 99% of the people will always be watching 1% of the people, normally wishing that they could be that 1% or coming up with excuses and reasons why they can't be that 1%. So here's the thing, you can do and be and have anything you want. It's truly going to be a matter of mindset. And now I understand that as a white woman, it is a privilege for me to say that. And I truly believe as a white woman, I was able to find out this information easier and I had an easier time applying it. And I understand that women of color, people of color will not be able always to do this as easily. But I want you to know that your skin color does not cap the potential on your life. Even if society has made you feel like there has been a cap on your potential based on the color of your skin, I want you to know that that's not true. You might have to do more deprogramming work. You might have to prove yourself a little more to the external world, which is fucked up. It's fucked up. And I hope one day it's not like that. And I try not to use the word hope, but we just have a lot of work to do as a country, as a world. Anyone can have anything, any life that they want to have. It's just about having to do the work around believing that you can have it, and then really doing the work and bringing action into life so that your manifestations can happen. People get stuck in the learning phase, learning, 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 learning. The problem being is they feel stuck because they learn all this information, their brain's processing all of this information, which mostly probably contradicts everything they've ever been told. So it's only a little bit to process, and then you just keep adding that on and on and on, which is great that you want to change and you want to learn and you want to do and be better and have more for yourself. That's amazing. But the problem is if you're not taking action, if you're not actually doing the things in the physical world, then they won't manifest. And the problem with a lot of the spiritual teaching that's going on now is it kind of makes you feel like, oh, I'm just going to think about something in my mind and then I'm going to see it. Like, I want a Ferrari. Ooh, let me go to the window and see what my Ferrari looks like. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? You can manifest a Ferrari. I'm not saying you can't manifest a Ferrari, but girl, boy, you got to put in some work to get that Ferrari. It's not just going to show up on your door. That's not how manifestation works. And that's also not how personal development works, right? It's often like that metaphor that we hear all the time. When you plant a seed, you don't get instant gratification. You have to wait to reap what you sow. Know it's going to come from it, but you really have to put in the work, show up daily, commit to it, water it when it needs watering, shine that light on it, These are the things that need to happen. And this is exactly the way personal development and manifestation works. And I truly believe that your success works, especially if you're a business owner, right? Because you have unlimited potential when you're a business owner. When you are working for someone else, there's still going to be a level of limitation. You can find manifestations within there. I'm not saying you can't, but there's unlimited potential when you're a business owner. And that's where it just gets so freaking fun. Because you can really, really structure your life exactly how you want. Because if there's something you don't want to do, okay, cool, you hire someone to do it. You know what I mean? Like, there's just that freedom that owning a business really gives you. And that's why I really help my clients, either transition from that corporate into their business, or I help them level up in their business. Because when you realize that there's an unlimited potential, literally the only thing standing in your way is you. And I'm going to keep the caveat about the privilege thing, as I stated before. The only cap on your potential is you. It's truly, truly the case. And so that's why you're going to see that there's daily work. And I know that the schedule looks kind of overwhelming. It looks like there's a lot there, but these aren't long practices. Guided meditations and the hypnoses are under 15 minutes typically. So it's not that much time in the day, but it's also showing up daily and doing it to reprogram your mind. And then it's also about the fact that many people don't have a morning routine. And morning routines and nightly routines are really what set you up for success, right? If you look at the difference between people who are super successful and people that are like, doing all right, it's going to be the morning routine and the nightly routine. And they're non-negotiables, right? They have this morning routine, they have this nightly routine. Non-negotiables. And it's because it sets their day up, and it also sets their sleep up, because your subconscious brain is working in your sleep. And that's why it's really important that you're not listening to a television all night long that's, on the news or horror things before you go to bed, because whatever you are thinking about and doing right before you go to sleep, you're going to carry in with you for 8 hours. And that can be a lot. When I used to suffer from a lot of traumatic sleep issues like insomnia, or I had really bad night terrors, it was because I had a lot of unprocessed trauma. And I watched a lot of horror films very young in life when, before 7. My generation growing up, it was when CSI and all of those forensic and NCIS, all those forensic shows started coming out. And so it was like death, 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 death. day I realized, oh my God, every episode I watch of this, I see a dead body. And I was like, I do not think that that is healthy. I don't think it's healthy for someone to have seen as many dead bodies as I've seen. Now, granted, these aren't in real life in front of me, dead people, but it's on the screen. And when you're staring at a screen, you're hypnotized. You're taking it all in, you're consuming it. What I always like to say, and it always kind of, it gets some people, it gets under your skin, is that what you consume consumes you. And when I stopped watching all of that, all of the death, all of the violence, that's when, and when I started processing the trauma and doing my personal development work and really processing my emotions and how I was feeling and, taking more responsibility, all of the things that we're going to work through in this course, if you haven't worked through, is really when my sleep changed. And it's not by coincidence, because I changed what I was focusing on mentally. And what I was focusing on mentally, consciously, when I say that, I mean consciously focusing on, it was healthier. And that meant that when I went to bed, well, one, I could go to bed, and two, when I did sleep, my brain wasn't, I used to make the reference and I laugh now, but I was totally serious, that the movie Inception, that was what it was like when I went to bed every single night. And when that movie came out, I was like, thank you, Jesus. Now I can finally explain to people. It's like I had Inception dreams. And then once I started doing this work, I was really able to heal myself. And what people don't talk about enough in the spiritual development, personal development, manifestation world is, are you ready for it? Before you're going to see the fruits of this labor, the labor that you have to do is intensive, and it's really, really a bunch of forgiveness work, a bunch of healing work, a bunch of self-acceptance work, and a bunch of self-identity work, right? It's really all of these areas, and healing your past, right? The shadow work, the inner child work, it all fits into what you have to do before you see it in your outside world, before it manifests. Manifestation is you deciding that you want something in your mind, speaking that you want something, and then you see it come into your reality. It literally manifests, it shows up in your world. I don't know that I can break it down any more simply than that. It's just, you decide you want something and you get really clear on it and it shows up. We'll go over it in way more detail. Manifestation community doesn't talk about this enough. I truly believe. And perhaps it's because we're seeing on social media a really curated feed of people's lives. This is a societal norm. It really highlights how glamorous manifestation can be. It shows you all of the G-Wagons. It shows you all of the luxurious trips. It shows you all of the things. And there are a lot of teachers out there that are talking about the work that's required to have gotten those things. They teach their students the work. And this is the one thing that I'm so passionate about, because when I got into the manifestation world, it wasn't really being talked about. And the way that it was being talked about almost felt like a surface level, like it wasn't explaining it enough. And I don't feel like anyone showcased, like, we're really gonna have to go into the darkness to dig up and look at every belief and experience that really created the reality that you're now experiencing. And we have to look at them like ghosts you've been running away from. You have to turn around and look it in the face, because a feeling only lasts 90 seconds, right? But if we don't feel the feeling, if we repress it, then it will be something we're running from our entire lives. So what we really have to do is we really have to do the darkness work, that the nitty gritty, the hard work. And then once we get past that, it gets super easy, right? Like we have built a solid foundation, and every once in a while, it'll be like a weed in the garden thing. Like every once in a while, a weed will pop up. And we can easily take care of the single weeds, because at that point we've done the damage of collecting and pulling out most of the weeds. So it's just beautiful flowers growing, and we've planted the vegetables that we want and the flowers that we want, and we've decided what we want and we've planted them. Every once in a while, a weed will come up, and that will be a weed. In this metaphor would be a limiting belief that tells you can't have something. Why can't you have it? There's the behind the belief, there's a reason, there's an experience, there's something that caused you to have that limitation. And that's what we have to look at. All of these limitations that have been created in your life, we have to look at where they came from. We have to look at who was involved in those experiences. We have to look at what we learned from these experiences and what we made truth because of these experiences. And then we have to really question these experiences. Like, is there a better way? Could this be more abundant? And ultimately, we need to make sure that anyone involved in these past experiences, including ourselves, is no longer holding on and harboring bad feelings for. We have to ultimately forgive everyone, including ourselves. So that's what a lot of the week 1 work is. And I want you to know that just like in the manifestation, in the process, in personal development, the first week is where we're really, really getting in the mud. We're getting in the dirt. Your hands are gonna get dirty this week, okay? You're probably gonna cry some tears this week. Like, let's be honest. And I'm only laughing in the most fulfilled place in my heart, knowing how many tears I've cried doing this work. But these tears, it moves energy, right? Crying moves energy. The rest of the weeks, they're going to get lighter. They're going to be more fun, I guess you can say. It's just that this is really the essential work. And I wish that I had been taught this. I wish that I had found this out so much sooner. This really took me a culmination of, I would say, 5 years. 5 years of learning different manifestation ways from different people, and realizing that manifestation and your ability to manifest and your ability to manifest consistently is really directly correlated with the personal development work that you've done. Because when you do personal development work, it allows you to challenge and question everything you've ever been told. Because when you do that, it allows you to decide what reality you want to create. And this is where all of the rags to riches stories come from, right? Even Tony Robbins, who's the GOAT of personal development, created the industry. Tony Robbins was a rags to riches story. Now he lives quite close to where I live, but he is doing incredible. He is not only a successful businessman, he is writing books and teaching people and interviewing the top businessmen in the world and teaching people. He is a business coach now. He is what most people in this industry aspire to want to be, because he has all of the different things checked off. But he wasn't born into any of it. He had to decide that that was the life he wanted to create. And he had to only accept that reality. That's how driven you have to be. You have to be so passionately dedicated to what you want to bring to life, to the life that you want to have, until it shows up. Because that passion, that consistency, that dedication, that's what sets the 1% apart. And I'm telling you, that's why it doesn't matter where you came from. It just matters that you do this work right here. Because when you do this work right here, it doesn't matter where you came from. You get to start from scratch. You get to not necessarily start from scratch. You'll still have your stories, you'll still have your past experiences, but who says the way that you have interpreted your past experiences as a child are now, when you look back at them as an adult, were accurately perceived? The truth changes with time. Look at history. Your story doesn't necessarily have to remain the story that you've always been telling yourself. Things can change, dynamics can change. You can realize that there was a part of the story that you didn't fully know as a child. Or you might look back at the experience and realize, wait, that's not actually how it happened, right? Or you could decide, even if that is how it happened, that you are going to process it a better way. And you are going to learn a more unlimited way to live your life instead of creating a limiting belief that's going to limit you and cap your potential for the rest of your life. So that's what we're doing this week. We are really, really going to forgive everyone that needs to be forgiven. We're also going to look at all of the experiences that created a belief that isn't serving you. And it's just really a limiting belief. Now, this process, we're doing it ultimately just for life, but this process can be broken down and applied to love, money, career, all of any experience in life. It can be broken down to, and you can apply these things to it as well. And that's why I say that this is a transformative course, because it's making you do the work. You can't just show up and watch the video module. You have to show up. There's a daily schedule. You have to click through things. You never know which ones you're going to be clicking through. Keeping you on your toes. There's answers you have to type in. And you're not being graded on any of this at all. But you're grading yourself, right? You always know how much energy and effort you're putting into a thing. And how many times have you taken an online course and you watch the videos, and then you watch the videos, then you watch the videos, right? And there might have been a little bit of homework, but was it just some journaling prompts? And I'm not, when I say it like that, I am not trying to gloss over the effectiveness of journaling prompts. Journaling is scientifically proven to help you conceptualize your emotions. So journaling is amazing and needed and essential and definitely part of this work. But if the course is just video modules and then it has you writing out journaling prompts, it's very easy for you to not do the journaling prompts. And it's very easy for your conscious mind to be like, oh yeah, okay, I got that, because you thought it through, or whatever the case may be. But I need you to do the work. You need you to do the work, because this is how we change lives, right? We don't just change lives by meditating, by visualizing, by sitting on our couch. We have to get out into the world, even if it's just the digital world, baby. You got to start doing the things. And oftentimes the reason why we won't take the action and do the things is because of this, the week one gunk. All of the programming that we've learned, all of the past experiences. And because your brain is always going to try and conserve on energy, it's always going to go to the place where it's always gone, right? It's like when you go to the grocery store, you're going to take the fastest trip to the grocery store because you just want to get there, get in, get out, get home. That makes sense. Uses the least amount of gas, your groceries stay cold, all the things. That's what your brain's going to do. You have neural pathways. And so when you think of money, when you think of love, when you think of business, when you think of yourself, anything, when you think of anything, right? It's taking a pathway to a belief, an action, a way that is familiar to you, something that you've always done, because it's just the easiest. Now, this is where that 21-day thing comes in. When you start doing something and you go the opposite way, when you start believing something else, because there's always another belief, right? We live in a dualistic society, a dualistic planet. Everything has duality on Earth. So there's always another way of seeing things. It's just, have you ever thought about thinking about it differently? Whoa. When you start believing something new, when you start affirming something new, and it's completely different than you've always done it, there's resistance because your brain is trying to go this way because this is the way it's always gone, towards the negative limiting beliefs. And you're trying to say, nope, we're going this way. It's like when you're walking your dog and your dog wants to go this way, but you're like, no, and we're actually going this way. But your dog sees a squirrel over there, so they're like, and you're like, it takes a little bit. You got to course correct. Resistance is natural. I want you to understand and be very gentle with yourself, realizing that you are literally reprogramming your mind. So the resistance is natural. It's okay. But realize that you have to keep going forward. And you have to keep showing up every single day, because this is how you form a new neural pathway. And after the 21 days, this is just who you are. This is just how you act. This is an 8-week course, purposefully, because for the first 4 weeks, you might feel that resistance. And those first 4 weeks, that's really the 21 days where you are programming the new belief. You're programming in a new neural pathway. And it's going to challenge the way you've always viewed your life, viewed yourself. And that's so beautiful, because it's going to open up limitless possibilities for you. But I want you to know that there will be some resistance, and it's not going to be an overnight thing. It really won't be. But once you show up for those first 4 weeks, then you're going to realize, you're going to wake up and you do a meditation. Wake up and I have a morning routine where I do a guided meditation. And then before I go to bed, I do a hypnosis. So like after the first 4 weeks, it's just what you do. And so then even after the course, after the 8 weeks are done, when you really programmed it and then you had to stick with it for another month, because here I was. After that though, there you are, showing up, meditating, having a nightly routine, and these things will start to become natural in your life. And you will start to build a new identity, a new belief structure. Your neural pathways will change. And I know that I sound very scientific with all of this, but it's really just going to be through guided meditations, through affirmations, through journaling prompts, through really looking at the person you've identified with, through doing cord cutting activities, through, what else do I give you to do? Through mirror work, there's just so many things. Throughout the weeks, you'll realize that there are things that I have you do repetitively, because those are sinking into your subconscious mind. And you'll realize that all of the work you're doing is ultimately tied together. Though it seems like we're doing things that might not seem like they're tied together, they really all are. And strategically so, that you're healing all of the parts of your soul, all of the parts of your past, all of the parts of yourself. And then once you do that, that's when you get to decide, who am I gonna be now? Who is the version of me that has all of the things that I want? And that's when it starts to get really fun. And that's when you get to, decide if you want to manifest a house, or decide if you want to manifest a new car. The things, the really fun, flashy things. You'll get there, okay? You will get there. But I need you to know, if you've come from a lot of trauma, if you've come from a lot of low self-worth, if you have had a lot of harsh experiences happen in your life, especially if they were when you were younger, it takes a little extra work, right? We've gone through a little more darkness, and I say we because I will put myself in those categories. But when you go through darkness, it is an opportunity, when you look at it and face it, for light to shine there, right? So it's just more potentiality for light. But it's also going to take a little more work. You have a little more dirt, a little more darkness that you have to look at, that you have to heal, that you have to forgive. But once you do that, you don't have to keep doing it. You have to keep reliving it and speaking about it over and over again. That's the one thing that I used to want to be a clinical psychologist, a psychoanalyst. I just couldn't go through that much trauma and hearing people talk about it all of the times, because I felt as though I didn't have enough effective tools to really have people help themselves and change themselves. Why does healing have to be such a long process? Time isn't linear. If we look at quantum physics, time isn't linear. Time is always existing simultaneously. So that's when you hear people say you can hop timelines or jump into a different timeline. I'm trained in time techniques. There's so much manipulation of time that we have done as humans, that we can do as humans, that time shouldn't be something that allows us to suffer, in my personal belief. And I knew that the healing process had to be faster. There had to be a faster way to heal, ultimately. And I found it through all of these different methods. So while the first week is going to be really dense and really about you healing and focusing, I want you to know that it's not all going to be like that. And fun is ultimately a part of this. When we start doing this personal development work, or when we get really into it, the one thing that we lose, and hell, we lose it as adults, right? Is we say we can't have fun anymore. Fun is for the kids. I can't have fun anymore. I've got bills to pay. I've got responsibilities. I've got a job to go to. We're not allowed to have fun at my job. They don't let me have fun at my job. Right. No. Who wants to live a life without fun? And in personal development, though we're doing a lot of heavy lifting, though we're looking at a lot of experiences that have caused pain, so it's nothing to take lightly. At the same time, we need to look at it, we need to feel it, we need to heal it. And we're not spiritual bypassing. We're really looking, we're really feeling, and we are really healing. But we also are going to have fun. And that's why you're going to notice that there's a weekly dance session, basically. And it's just about you moving your body, moving your energy, feeling good. So if you're someone that really likes to create playlists, I recommend that you create a really high vibe playlist if you don't already have one, or create one for this course and put some manifestation songs on there and make it, the songs that make you feel like a boss ass bitch, or whatever your vibe is that you're going for your life. I mean, what's that vibe? Align with that vibe that you want to be at. But it's really about moving and having fun and realizing that we get to be silly and we get to feel all of the things and we get to really experience life and have fun doing it. I know that this work this week is going to be intense. But realize that once you get through this intense work, you get to the fun work, right? And it's so worth it. This is the most transformative work you will ever do in your life, because it's going to give you your power back. It's going to allow you to create a life on your terms. You don't have to do what you see other people doing. You can also do something you've never seen anyone do before. And you get to live abundantly. You don't have to sacrifice to live. You don't have to work hard. Like, you don't have to show up in your job and work hard every single day unless you decide that that's what you have to do. But why can't we decide to create a life that's more abundant and it's more fun? You can have both. We don't have to have these conflicting beliefs in our mind, because even though we live on a duality planet, your subconscious brain cannot handle dualistic thoughts. It's always going to misread them. It doesn't know how to process them because your subconscious brain works in pictures. That's also why visualization is something that you'll hear talked about so much in the manifestation world, because what you can see in your brain, I like to explain it as your brain is a big projector, and whatever you are projecting on your brain on the inside is what you're going to see on the outside. As above, so below. It's based on the Hermetic principles, which have been interpreted into the universal laws. So the law of correspondence, as above, so below. And that literally means how you're thinking, how you're feeling, how you're speaking, your internal vibration, frequency, we'll get into that more, is going to shape your world and your manifestation capabilities, because it's all tied together. Manifestation is a universal law. So when you're operating in alignment and at your fullest energetic capacity, Manifestation just becomes a part of who you are. All of these dense experiences, emotions, beliefs that are limiting us, they're weighing us down from vibrating at our most empowered and authentic self. And oftentimes we've carried them so long with us that we don't know who our authentic self is. We have been in the darkness for so long trying to get out that once you get out, sometimes you're like, now, who am I? What life do I want to lead? It's like that when you just wait to do something for so long and you're like, oh my God, now 3 years have gone by. And then you're like, I don't know what to do because I haven't done something in so long. And that's what I want to empower you to do, is really be able to reprogram your mind so that that stalled mindset belief isn't even running. And so when it starts to run, you can acknowledge it so you can see it, so that you can start to course correct and pivot. Because the more times you can interrupt the program, the more times that the program's going to start running the way that you're interrupting it and moving it too, right? So it's okay. You're not going to be perfect at it, but it's about being consciously aware of when you're experiencing something that you don't like. How did I create this? What was going on in my mind? What was going on in my internal world? How was I feeling? How was I speaking to myself? How was I speaking to others? How was I speaking about my life? All of these things are going to tie together, and they're going to give us the world we end up experiencing, the world we end up manifesting, whether we're manifesting or not manifesting. And that's why I'm really tying together so many different concepts here. As I stated before, that's just one thing that I feel like I'm called to do and called to speak and teach into this world, is to realize that you don't have to be spiritual or be successful. Something I struggled with for a long time. I thought, well, you're either spiritual and you're helping the planet and you're ethical, or you run a business and you're successful and you've got all the nice cars and the houses. But it doesn't have to be that or that. But when you create an internal representation in your mind that it's this or this, then conflict occurs and you don't get either. So that's kind of a little bit of NLP tied in there, but I want you to realize it's all under your control. We just really have to do this personal development work first, the shadow work, the inner child work. And that's what this week is about. I want you to look at your past. I want you to be able to look at yourself. I want you to be able to look at your life, look at your bank account, and I want you to be able to be proud of all of them. And I want you to know that all of the relationships in your life and dynamics that you experience, you get to decide. You really get to decide, and you get to ask for more. So if there's anything in your life, people, places, things that are weighing you down, that don't feel like they're the highest good for you or doesn't make you your highest self, you have the option, you have the power to change that dynamic in some way, shape, or form. And that's what this course is going to do. It's going to challenge you to look at your past differently. I'm going to challenge you to change your vibration and frequency. I am going to challenge you to change your mind and to start focusing on what you want instead of the things that you don't want. Because oftentimes, even when we think we're not thinking about the things that we don't want, we're often just, our brain is framing it in a different way, or we're saying it in a different way semantically. But ultimately, the subconscious brain isn't understanding our semantics. So it's just processing the thing that we're thinking about, which is normally the thing that we don't want to be thinking about. This course is a culmination of all of the esoteric wisdom that I find is really applicable to manifestation and to personal development and to understanding yourself on a deeper level, along with systems that are tangible and practical, so that you can not only understand and learn more, but you can apply it and you can see the results. Because that's the thing, right? When we change who we are on the inside, the outside world reflects that. And oftentimes in the manifestation world, they just don't go deep enough into the internal world for you to be able to change your external reality. And I'm sorry, but in the YouTube videos on law of attraction, they're not going to get you there. So if you've taken a lot of manifestation classes before, or if you've been following manifestation teachers, or if you've been watching all the YouTube videos and nothing's really working, that's why, because they're all very surface level, they're all very flashy and showy. And sometimes they might work for some people, but also realize it can be something that that person already believes is attainable for them. So they really didn't have to do much work, because if you believe you can have something and you're worthy of having something, that's when it manifests right away, very quickly, because time is not linear, right? So that's just ultimately the thing. We have to look at our beliefs. We have to look at what has created the reality that we're in, what has created the person that we currently are, so that we can identify what's the reality we really want to be living in, and who is the person that we really want to be, so that we can understand how to become that person. It's one thing that I learned in my life in success coach training, and this is how I coach my private clients and my group coaching clients, is you don't take it day by day by day by day and hoping that this action and this action will be aligned to get to this outcome. That is what leaves people running around like a chicken with their head cut off. I know, because I did this for so long. I'm a manifesting generator in human design with an emotional authority. Whew! I got my emotional wave. I got my energy going, dragging me all over the place. I lived a lot of my life trying to obtain success that way, trying to, really see the outcomes that I wanted in things, but I was never getting clear enough on the outcome, because that's how we really achieve the things that we want. Is you decide what you want, what the end result is. And when you get very clear on what you want, the energy, the frequency, the feelings, what you're seeing, who you are there, that's when you start aligning yourself to that vibration. And then the inspired ideas, the inspired actions start flowing to you. And that's it from a very esoteric and spiritual way. But then also from a very tangible and practical sense, you can also do an action step plan from goal setting. And I really tie goal setting and manifestation together. You're going to find that the way that I teach manifestation, when you're really first learning it so that you can get good to apply it, is really through a goal setting technique, my manifestation goal setting technique, because I'm tying this practical and the spiritual. And you can now goal step backwards from there. And that's how you realize, because you're like, I want to be in a year. How do I want to feel? What do I want my life to look like? What do I want to be experiencing? What do I want my days to be like? And then once you get very clear on that, then you're like, okay, so that's a year from now. So then if I was at that spot in a year from now, where would I go, and what would I be doing? How would I look? How would I feel in 8 months? From now, what would I be doing? And yada, yada, yada. And you backtrack it. Well, these are the things that I need to be doing to get to that place that I want to be. It doesn't seem so overwhelming. It doesn't seem like it's intangible, like it's just this like fantasy in your mind. It's become tangible, it's become practical, because you're like, I know who I want to be. I know who that woman is. I know what car she drives. I know what she dresses like. I know what her morning routine is like. I know that she gives herself spiritual practices throughout the day. I know that she grounds into nature. Whatever it is, and because you know, and you get so empowered and in that energy of who you want to be, it's going to get you there now. And honestly, when you hear people talk about the quantum leap, and if this goes over your head, just let it. The quantum leap is when you change your identity, and then you identify with the person that you want to be and that you're trying to manifest in the now. And that's super, super high level quantum physics and manifestation, but I know you've probably heard the term if you've been in the manifestation world. I just wanted to touch on it since we were kind of there. You're about to have so much fun, and we're gonna really get into all of that, the goal setting, the manifestation, the getting clear on your identity. We are going to do so much of this work. So get excited, because it's going to be so much fun, and it's truly going to be life-changing for you. And I'm so, so grateful that you're here, and I'm so, so happy that you've decided to invest in yourself and in your life and in your success, because you can have everything you've ever wanted. Everything you've ever wanted is standing on the other side of you believing you can't have it. There's a group that you have access to, and this is a place where you can ask me questions, you can ask other classmates questions, you can use it to interact with your classmates. So if you want to share social media handles, whatever the case may be, I really wanted a space that wasn't a Facebook group, where you were able to be in the safe container, the energy that I have infused this course with, and you can talk with the people there or ask me questions if you need questions. Want to find an accountability partner, or if you want to connect. A lot of the times when we're going on this spiritual journey, we feel like we're the only one in our world, locally that's doing it. And we might have people that we see on Instagram that we've connected with, or Facebook or whatever, but sometimes it can feel lonely, right? And I don't ever want you to feel lonely unless you want to go out into the woods and feel lonely. You're wrong with being alone, but I don't want you to feel plagued by loneliness. So that's why I did that. So please go in there, introduce yourself, ask questions about the topics or anything that's related to the course, and really just go into this with an open mind. Realize that a lot of the things that I'm saying are going to challenge things that you've ever been told. And that's okay, because if everything you've ever been told has gotten you the life that you wanted to live, you wouldn't be in this course right now, right? So obviously you tried their way and it didn't work. So let's get on board with my way, baby. I am so proud of you. I'm so, so grateful that you're here. And I just want you to take a moment to thank yourself, to be so appreciative that you are about to dedicate the next 8 weeks of your life to transforming inside and out. All right, have so much fun. Try to have fun while doing this forgiveness work, while looking at your past and healing it. And if you need a break, take a break from the work. Drink a lot of water. Make sure you're taking care of yourself this week. Get sleep. If you need to rearrange your schedule at all just because you're releasing a lot of energy, please do. And what I want you to understand before we go is that with manifestation, when you hear people saying clear the space and clear space to be able to receive, if you're clogged up with all of these beliefs and all of these experiences and all of these things in your life, you won't have room to receive more. The universe won't be able to give you more because you don't have any more room. And that's what us looking at this healing and forgiving work does, because it allows you to clear up that energetic space so that you can vibrate higher, so that you can pull in and magnetize and attract and manifest all the things that you really, really want. It's all going to tie together. It's going to be such an amazing experience, and you have lifetime access to this. So feel free to come back to this whenever you want. The hypnoses, the meditations, the videos, the homework, it can all be done more than once. You can create your own journaling prompts. You can create your own hypnoses. You can create your own guided meditations. I ultimately want you to be able to use these tools and resources and help you to be able to be the rocket ship that allows you to transform and be an effective way of really stepping into this new identity. But I want you to always realize and remember that you have everything you need inside of you. I am just helping you clear energetic space and see things differently so that you can reprogram your mind. But ultimately, you're deciding the life that you get to live. You get to generate the happiness that you need inside of you. You generate the love that you need inside of you. You are generating all of this. And if you feel as though something in your external world, if you rely on that, you give away your power. So I want to empower you to realize that while I'm here to help you, it's ultimately you. You are the one doing the work. You are the one showing up every single day. you're the one that gets to create your dream life. So get excited because we are about to go for a ride. I love you all so, so much, and we'll talk soon.